Buddhism has been in this world for 25 centuries. The Buddha's teachings of benevolence and his compassionate great love has contributed to human development, especially in education, justice, democracy, and peace. Vesak is an important festival that commemorates the birth, the attainment of enlightenment, and the nirvana of Sakyamuni Buddha, the teacher of Buddhism. In October 2006, UNESCO's headquarters in Paris, the permanent delegation of Thailand to UNESCO, the World Fellowship of Buddhists, the World Buddhist University, and the Pure Land Learning College Australia co-sponsored the celebration of the 2550th anniversary of the birth of the Buddha. In this event, there were speeches, panel discussions, an exhibition, and a documentary to facilitate multilateral communication. It was hoped that the Buddhist community would continue to work together and fulfill their social responsibility and their mission to seek peace for all. At the opening ceremony, eminent monastics, representatives from international organizations, government leaders, and guests arose to pay respect to the Buddha. Then the ceremony started. Afterwards, representatives from 9 religious groups in Singapore prayed with sincere love for world peace hand in hand. The organizing committee and respectful guests delivered speeches on stage and wished that the message of peace would be spread to every corner of the world.
One of the outstanding forces of Buddhism, as both a religion and a philosophy, is its ability to act as a catalyst, enabling different societies to give expression to their latent qualities and creative energy. Buddhism's extraordinary capacity to integrate, transmit, and fertilize many cultures constitutes the living proof of the Buddha's message, unity in diversity. This resonates strongly with UNESCO's notion of cultural diversity. This notion recognizes the common links between societies while acknowledging their distinctive identities as factors of richness and openness in an increasingly globalized world. Buddhism advocates the need to be at peace with oneself in order to be able to open up to others and to fully accept and recognize the diverse identities that make up the fabric of our shared humanity. Such introspection does not imply isolation within one's own world and thoughts. Rather, it suggests an ever-evolving exchange with others of living and thinking, motivated by a true spirit of knowledge of the other. In the current international climate, marked by increasing intercultural and interreligious tensions, this celebration offers an excellent opportunity to give worldwide resonance to the Buddha's message of mutual respect and dialogue. UNESCO views dialogue as an effective means of avoiding the misunderstandings that reinforce negative stereotypes, breed antagonism and mistrust, and pave the way for violence. By allowing different perspectives and critical views to emerge, dialogue can help us to gain a better understanding of other cultures and religions, as well as our own. There can be no doubt that the quest for peace can only come through the mutual understanding of and respect for different faiths in the spirit of the UNESCO Universal Declaration on Cultural Diversity adopted in 2001. It is UNESCO's constitutional mandate to advance the mutual knowledge and understanding of peoples. The organization attaches great importance to inter-religious dialogue as a means of strengthening relationships within and between societies. The organization is deeply committed not only to fostering dialogue, but also to building new partnerships for interfaith cooperation.
I am also pleased to welcome the Buddhist leaders of the host organizations, namely His Excellency Pan Vanamaki, President of the World Fellowship of Buddhists, Most Venerable Chingu, President of the Pure Land Learning College of Australia, and Professor Noranis Sethabut, Director of the World Buddhist University, for their joint cooperation to host these historical events, wishing to acknowledge the Buddhist contribution to world peace and sustainable development. It is also my privilege to welcome both Buddhists and other member states to UNESCO for their kind cooperation to make a success of this event. I also equally welcome the Buddhist dignitaries, monks and nuns, invited speakers, as well as delegates who are coming from around the world to celebrate these Buddhist Golden Jubilees at UNESCO and to pay tribute deeply grateful to the Lord Buddha. It is worthy to note that after 25 centuries existence of these noble religions, the Buddhism today has become a universal religion and philosophy which is playing an important role in different areas of human development. The peace has been touched by the Lord Buddha as main concept of his teachings. For him, without development peace, first one's own inner heart, it is impossible to create world peace. Therefore, practicing of Buddhism as individuals' capacity will help to create peace in the society.
The Buddha's activity in the 6th century BCE corresponds to the time of the Socrates in Greece and Confucius in China, and it was a period of enlightenment which heralded the beginning of the humanism. Ladies and gentlemen, during these 3 days of celebration at UNESCO, there would be a series of activities has been planned to enrich this historical event. Among them, 2 keynote speeches will highlight how and which manner Buddhism has been influenced to humanity as well as to maintain sustainable development of world peace. Besides that, there would be 2 panel discussions. The first panel will focus that how Buddhism has been contributed in education, spiritual, ethical, and humanistic progress since its inception. And the second will be an intercultural dialogue, which will aim how dialogue and openness will eliminate mistrust, misunderstanding, and intolerance among different traditions and to find out the role of religion for peace building. Therefore, I strongly believe that the philosophy of the Buddha may contribute a lot UNESCO sectors of culture and education in its program of dialogue among civilization, philosophy, peace and human rights education, which seem to be missing in the activities. Mr. President, the world nation today face many problems, among them insecurity, become a deadly, a universal curse, both among the rich and the poor. The highly developed science and technology has failed to find out the secret of human happiness. Therefore, I believe that during these 3 days of discussions, we may find out a roadmap in the light of the Buddha's teaching to create a better world where all human beings would enjoy peace and serenity.
نائب المندوب الدائم لتايلاند، الزملاء منظمي هذا الاحتفال الكبير، العلماء، رجال الدين، الأساتذة، سيداتي سادتي، إننا اليوم وفي هذا اللقاء التاريخي الكبير الذي نتذكر فيه رجل عظيم وهب حياته من أجل الإنسانية، ذكرى 2550 سنة على ميلادي.
联合国教科文组织的秘书长，联合国教科文组织议会会长，泰国驻法国的大使，尊敬的9大宗教的代表们，来自世界各地的专家学者，诸位女士们、先生们，这一次非常荣幸，澳洲浸宗学院应联合国教科文组织的邀请，与法国大使共同举办热烈庆祝2550年的卫赛节的活动。来自全球许许多多的国家代表贵宾们齐聚一堂，探讨佛教对人类的贡献，今空在此的致最诚挚的欢迎。净空从55年的学习当中，深深地体会到，佛教是佛陀对一切众生至善圆满的教育。释迦牟尼佛是古代的多元文化的社会教育家，同时也是多元文化的社会教育义务工作者。2500多年来，无数的高僧大德、善男信女，接受如此圆满智慧教育为主修的课程，潜移默化，自行化他，为幸福美满、社会安定、世界和平做出伟大的贡献。佛法圆融的慈悲智慧，提升了人们心灵的层次，高度的善巧方便，丰富了人们文化艺术，特别在东方的历史产生了深远广大的影响。它与中国5000年文化水乳交融，和传统伦理、道德、因果、智慧、科学教育相得益彰。而在今天这样天灾人祸频繁的时代当中，真正力行实践学佛者，必定是从自己内心化解对一切人事物的对立疑虑做起，进而化解社会诸多的冲突矛盾，实践爱心变世界， 善意满人间的世界一家、幸福人生、和谐社会。实际上，不仅佛法，世界上所有宗教神圣的伦理道德教育，都能引导我们走向和谐光明。这几天的活动当中，我们也会将这些年来努力所做的成果，以及在中国唐池小镇以释迦牟尼佛办班教学的方式，推动和谐社会这个实验的效果，向大会来做报告，敬请指教，并祝大会圆满成功，各位嘉宾身心愉快，吉祥如意。谢谢。
I would like to thank you for inviting me to this opening session of celebration of 2550th anniversary of Buddha Sakyamuni Gautama. It is not only an honor for me, but also a great pleasure to have this opportunity to be together with you, to listening to you. I should like to extend to you the warmest greetings on behalf of the Executive Board of UNESCO. And I also like to express my sincere thanks, great appreciation to all of you, the leaders of the religions of the world, for your contribution for the interreligion and the intercultural dialogue, for your contribution to build the peace through this kind of cultural and religious exchange. This is so important and so urgently needed. So, based on that, I must thank you and give you a salute.
It is an honour for me to deliver a message from the Prime Minister of Australia, John Howard. The message begins, "It gives me great pleasure to provide this message on the occasion of the conference at UNESCO in Paris from 7 to 9 October 2006 to celebrate the 2550th anniversary of the birth of Buddha. This conference provides an excellent opportunity for Buddhists and scholars of Buddhism to join together to consider the profound influence that Buddhism has had globally, both historically and in more recent times. I am particularly pleased to learn that Australian Buddhists have contributed to the development and presentation of the conference under the leadership of the Venerable Master Ching Kung AM, Vice-Chancellor of Pure Land Learning College in Toowoomba, Queensland. Australia is a peaceful, harmonious and inclusive nation that respects the rights of citizens to maintain and develop their cultural and religious beliefs in an Australian context. The Buddhist community is held in high regard in Australia due to its long-standing commitment to strengthening community relations through the promotion of interfaith understanding. I send greetings of peace and goodwill to all those attending the conference. Prime Minister of Australia, John Howard. Thank you.
The permanent delegations of Cambodia, the People's Republic of China, India, Japan, the Republic of Korea, the Lao People's Democratic Republic, the Union of Myanmar, Nepal, Sri Lanka, the Kingdom of Thailand, and Vietnam to UNESCO, also made speeches at this historic religious assembly of UNESCO. Buddhism in the World Today. In the royal park of Lumbini in northern Nepal to the north of India, the Buddha was born in the 6th century BCE. The ancient Buddhist chronicles record the day of his birth as a full moon day in the month of May. It is a special day in human history commemorating an extraordinary human being who appeared on this planet Earth to save millions of human lives from misery and suffering, and to guide the intellectual and cultural development of humanity for millennia. His father, King Suddhodana, ruled over the Shakyas at Kapilavastu, and his mother, Queen Maya, hailed from the neighboring principality of Devadaha. The Prince Siddhartha Gautama, the future Buddha, was brought up in luxury as befitting his royal birth. He was given a traditional education, preparing him to succeed his father to the throne. In addition, his doting father took special care to ensure that the young prince was prevented from encountering any form of misery or unhappiness in life. It was in deference to a prediction that he would become a great spiritual figure if he ever renounced lay life. He married Princess Yasodhara at the age of 16, and in 13 years was due to have their first baby. Assured that his commitment to family life was firm by this time, he was allowed to move freely outside the citadel. During these outings, he came across an old man, a sick person, a dead body, and an ascetic, his first ever encounter with the realities of life. Thus, being suddenly made aware of the inevitability of old age, disease, and death, the young prince was deeply concerned with the impermanence of existence and the resulting misery and suffering. He was determined to find for himself a way to save humanity from suffering. He left his palace on the very day of the birth of his son Rahula and set out on a quest for answers on how to end human suffering. Renouncing royal robes and donning rags of a mendicant ascetic, he wandered into the forest in search of teachers. None of the teachers from whom he learned advanced techniques on meditation for mental development could lead him to his goal of finding an end to suffering. Then he embarked on his own effort, practicing the most arduous penance